There is something I've noticed in the deliverance ministry that is frustrating a lot of people. This idea of laying hands upon people, when people bring a problem, when people come for a problem, the solution is only laying hands upon them and saying prayers and casting out demons. Saying prayers and casting out demons. Most of the time, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I'm not saying that it is useless, but most of the time, it doesn't work. You have to diagnose the problem. This problem has to be diagnosed. There are certain issues people are going through that that has to do with spiritual jurisprudence. It means the entities, the problems that they have, they were legally contracted. If they were legally contracted, they must be legally removed. Hallelujah. In the process of deliverance, there is what we call the process of parallelism of forms. Yeah, in jurisprudence, it simply means an institution or an authority that put a law or a rule in place is the same authority that can annul it. That is what it simply means in jurisprudence. In spiritual parlance, it simply means that if somebody contracted a covenant with an entity, that covenant remains legal until there is a commensurate authority. There is a commensurate legal authority that has to dislodge that, and it's not going to dislodge that by force. It's going to dislodge that through a process, a similar process. If you look, for instance, you see when Peter denied Jesus Christ, Peter was sitting near a fire with a little girl, and little girl accusing him. It was very cold, so the little girl said, "You too, you were with this man. You too, you were with this man. You were with this man." And Peter denied. He was basking himself near the fire, having fallen from grace. During restoration, when it is restoration, it is still going to be near the fire, and it is going to be the time that Christ they will bring fish out of the river and put there and on this fire, and the fish is being prepared to have a meal with the apostle. That Jesus will begin to ask him that, "Peter, do you love me? Do you love me? Feed my flock. Do you love me? Feed my flock." He is restored near the fire. He has restored near the fire. The same element that witnessed his downfall is the same element that has to witness his enthronement. This is very, very important. Very, very important. Deliverance ministers, they don't diagnose what is going on. It is very, very easy to understand the entities which witness somebody's trouble. And I always tell people, if you are not able to identify these entities, you can always use wara. For wara is the basis of all. Wara is the basis of all. It is older than human beings, because wara was the first element that had communion with the Spirit of God. Because the Bible tells us in Genesis that in the beginning the Spirit of the Lord was it floated over the water. The Spirit of the Lord moved on the surface of the water. Water had communion with the Spirit of the Lord. That is why water is very important. Like in baptism, it is very, very important. It is used to introduce us into the kingdom. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So if you don't know, you can use water. I tell people that water understands, it has a memory, understands every language. Every language. So that difficult issues, you have to pass through water. That has also a process. I'm just saying, if you are unable to determine the entities that were available, you can do it. But most of the time, when somebody is manifesting, you can easily know the entities that were present. Hallelujah. God bless you. Pastor Joe here.